Quote from Aldous Huxley. Words can be like X-rays if you use them properly. They'll go through anything. You read and you're pierced. Facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. After silence, that which comes nearest to expressing the inexpressible is music. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you mad. Maybe this world is another planet's hell. But I don't want conform. I want God. I want poetry. I want real danger. I want freedom. I want goodness. I want sin. If one's different, one's bound to be lonely. I want to know what passion is. I want to feel something strongly. Actual happiness always looks pretty squalid in comparison with the overcompensations of misery. And, of course, stability isn't nearly so spectacular as instability, and being contented has none of the glamour of a good fight against misfortune, none of the picturesqueness of a struggle with temptation, or a fatal overthrown by passion or doubt. Happiness is never grand. The more powerful and original a mind, the more it will incline towards the religion of solitude. I wanted to change the world, but I have found that the only thing one can be sure of changing is oneself. One believes things because one has been conditioned to believe them. That men do not learn very much from the lessons of history is the most important of all the lessons that history has to teach. There are things known and there are things unknown, and in between are the doors of perception. I am I, and I wish I weren't. Chronic remorse, as all the moralists are agreed, is a most undesirable sentiment. If you have behaved badly, repent, make what amends you can, and address yourself to the task of behaving better next time. On no account brood over your wrongdoing. Rolling in the muck is not the best way of getting clean. The secret of genius is to carry the spirit of the child into old age, which means never losing your enthusiasm. Experience is not what happens to a man, it is what a man does with what happens to him. Most human beings have an almost infinite capacity for taking things for granted. Every man's memory is his private literature. Happiness is not achieved by the conscious pursuit of happiness. It is generally the byproduct of other activities. Consistency is contrary to nature, contrary to life. The only completely consistent people are the dead. There is only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that's your own self. All that happens means something. Nothing you do is ever insignificant. The surest way to work up a crusade in favor of some good cause is to promise people they will have a chance of maltreating someone. To be able to destroy with good conscience, to be able to behave badly and call your bad behavior righteous indignation. This is the height of psychological luxury, the most delicious of moral treats. To travel is to discover that everyone is wrong about other countries. That all men are equal is a proposition which, at ordinary times, no sane individual has ever given his assent. Man is so intelligent that he feels impelled to invent theories to account for what happens in the world. Unfortunately, he is not quite intelligent enough, in most cases, to find correct explanations, so that when he acts on his theories, he behaves very often like a lunatic. Ironically enough, the only people who can hold up indefinitely under the stress of modern war are psychologists. Individual insanity is immune to the consequences of collective insanity. The man who comes back through the door in the wall will never be quite the same as the man who went out. He will be wiser but less sure, happier but less self-satisfied, humbler in acknowledging his ignorance, yet better equipped to understand the relationship of words to things, of systematic reasoning to the unfathomable mystery which it tries, forever vainly, to comprehend. Great is truth, but still greater from a practical point of view is silence about truth. Experience teaches only the teachable. In spite of language, in spite of intelligence and intuition and sympathy, one can never really communicate anything to anybody. The essential substance of every thought and feeling remains uncommunicable. Locked up in the impenetrable strong room of the individual soul and body, our life is a sentence of perpetual solitary confinement. Ending is better than mending. It's a little embarrassing that after 45 years of research and study, the best advice I can give people is to be a little kinder to each other. We cannot reason ourselves out of our basic irrationality. All we can do is learn the art of being irrational in a reasonable way. 1/3, more or less, of all the sorrow that the person I think I am must endure is unavoidable. It is the sorrow inherent in the human condition, the price we must pay for being sentient and self-conscious organisms, aspirants to liberation, but subject to the laws of nature and under orders to keep on marching through irreversible time, through a world wholly indifferent to our well-being, toward decrepitude and the certainty of death. The remaining 2/3 of all sorrow is homemade, and, so far as the universe is concerned, unnecessary. Universal happiness keeps the wheels steadily turning. Truth and beauty can't. Don't try to behave as though you were essentially sane and naturally good. We're all demented sinners in the same cosmic boat, and the boat is perpetually sinking.